all you need to understand the market in a nutshell. This is Deep Dive Finance by N3WS.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are diving into some pretty choppy waters in the business and tech world. We've got a mix of market suspense, some head-scratching decisions from big companies, and even a bit of legal drama.
Sounds exciting.
All with a backdrop of AI steadily changing the game.
It is.
Ready to see how these pieces fit together? I know I am.
I think what's really interesting here is that all these seemingly separate stories we have today are all symptoms of like the same underlying forces.
Yeah.
And we're going to see how companies are reacting to this pressure sometimes in very surprising ways.
Let's start with the one everyone's whispering about, Alphabet's Q3 earnings report.
Oh, yeah.
It's dropping later today.
Huge.
And it feels like the entire market is holding its breath.
You're not wrong. This report is a major health check, not just for Google's parent company, but for the tech sector as a whole.
Right.
If their numbers are good, it could boost confidence across the board.
Yeah.
But if they miss the mark, well, it could send some ripples of worry through the markets.
Yeah.
And right now, futures markets are pretty flat, which tells us investors are waiting on the edge of their seats for these results before they make any big moves.
One of the articles we have even asks what to expect with GOG stock ahead of Alphabet's upcoming earning release.
Yeah.
So what are these analysts laser focused on? What's going to make or break this report?
Well, two things are really key here.
Okay.
First, cloud computing revenue.
Okay.
This is where the real growth potential is for Alphabet.
Right.
It shows they're not just an ad company anymore.
Yeah.
They're a major player in the future of how businesses operate.
Right.
If that revenue is strong, it's a very good sign.
Makes sense.
Second, they'll be looking closely at ad spending.
Okay.
This is their bread and butter.
Right.
But it's a volatile market, especially with all the talk of economic slowdowns.
Right.
So if ad revenue is down, it could signal trouble ahead, not just for Alphabet, but for the whole digital ad ecosystem.
Okay, so cloud revenue is the exciting new frontier.
Yeah.
While ad spending is the reliable but potentially shaky foundation.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
But how does all this translate to someone like me, an individual investor, who's not glued to financial news all day?
Right.
What should I be watching for?
Well, you don't need to be a Wall Street wizard to make smart decisions.
Okay.
The key is understanding the story behind the numbers.
Got it.
For example, if Alphabet beats expectations on cloud revenue, it might be a sign to consider adding GOG to your portfolio.
Okay.
But if they miss on ad revenue,
it
might be worth waiting to see how things shake out.
Right.
It's all about looking for those clues about where the company and the whole tech sector are headed.
So it's about reading between the lines and looking for those signals about the future.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, our next story feels a little contradictory.
Ooh.
Visa, the giant in financial services, is laying off around 1,400 employees and contractors in a strong economy. That's unexpected.
Right. It seems counterintuitive at first, but it's actually part of a larger trend, particularly in tech.
Okay.
Companies are realizing they need to be lean and agile to survive in this rapidly changing world.
Yeah.
They're constantly adjusting their workforce, shedding some roles, while investing in others, all in an effort to stay ahead of the curve.
And from what we've seen, a lot of these layoffs are happening in Visa's technology division. One article even states, Visa layoff primarily targets technology workers. So what's the message here?
It's a clear signal that Visa is making strategic shifts.
Okay.
Think of it like this. They're steering a massive ship. And they're adjusting the sails to catch the winds of change.
I like that.
They're likely doubling down on certain technologies, like maybe those related to mobile payments or blockchain, while scaling back in areas that might not be as critical to their future success. This doesn't necessarily mean these laid-off workers are lacking skills. It's more that Visa is laser focusing on specific areas of growth.
So less about the overall economy
and
more about companies maneuvering within their sectors.
Exactly.
It's like a chess game where each move has a ripple effect.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of unexpected moves, our next story is one that really raises some eyebrows. JP Morgan Chase is suing customers who took advantage of an ATM glitch.
This one is definitely a head-scratcher.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, there was a technical error that allowed users to withdraw unlimited funds from certain ATMs.
Really?
And some people, well, they took advantage of that.
Wow.
Now the bank is taking legal action to recoup those funds.
And it's not chump change either.
No.
One article JP Morgan sues 4 people over Chase Bank glitch. Here's how much money they allegedly stole. Reveals some individuals allegedly walked away with thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Where do we even begin to unpack this?
It really boils down to intent. Did these people know they were exploiting a technical error?
Yeah.
Or did they genuinely believe the ATM was dispensing legitimate funds?
Right.
This case is going to put that question under a microscope.
Yeah.
And it could have huge implications for how we think about liability in the digital age.
It's a good point.
Think about it.
Yeah.
If you find a $100 bill on the street, you might assume it was dropped and consider keeping it.
I probably would.
But if you find $100,000,
Yeah.
wouldn't you be more likely to think something's wrong?
For sure.
This case is a real-world test of that kind of thinking.
It's a fascinating case,
Yes.
and it definitely makes you wonder, where's the line between a lucky break and outright theft in the digital world?
Yeah.
This feels like just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to be talking about the ethics of technology a lot more in the future.
I think so, too.
But for now, let's dive into a story that's a little more upbeat. LinkedIn is embracing AI with their first AI-powered recruiting agent.
This is where things get really exciting.
Oh, yeah.
LinkedIn is basically trying to give human recruiters a superpower.
Interesting.
The ability to sift through mountains of resumes and find those hidden gems, those perfect fit candidates who might have otherwise slipped through the cracks.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening right now.
It is.
And one of the articles we have really highlights the human side of this. It says, LinkedIn's new AI tool aims to help recruiters focus on connecting with applicants.
Yeah.
So instead of robots taking over, it's more about AI handling the grunt work. So humans can focus on what they do best, building relationships and making those personal connections.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
It's about AI augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them.
Got it.
Imagine a recruiter who no longer has to spend hours sifting through resumes.
Right.
They can use that time to have more meaningful conversations with candidates.
Yeah.
Really understand their motivations and aspirations and make sure they're not just a good fit on paper, but a good fit for the company culture.
Okay, so it's not about eliminating jobs, but rather transforming them.
Right.
It's like AI is taking over the repetitive tasks, so humans can focus on the things that require creativity, empathy, and intuition.
Exactly.
And that's a future I can get behind.
I agree.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these stories are connected.
Yeah.
We've got companies trying to stay ahead of the technological curve, sometimes making tough decisions like layoffs.
Right.
We've got legal battles that force us to confront the ethical dilemmas of the digital age. And we've got the rise of AI, which holds both immense promise and potential peril.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But it's also incredibly fascinating.
It is.
We're living through a truly transformative period in history.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to shape the future we want to see.
It is. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface of these topics.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's so much more to explore.
You're absolutely right. And that's what's so exciting about this deep dive.
Yeah.
It's not just about summarizing the news.
Right.
It's about connecting the dots, understanding the bigger picture, and asking the tough questions.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive today.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious.